Hopefully it won't come. Alright, so we're going to move this little guy out of the way. Suppose I should refill his fertilizer. So the other truck we're going to look at is, well, he's refilling here. Well, actually, it stops. I'm used to the phone. I've been playing the phone game a lot, and the one on the phone actually keeps going while you're in the menu, which I kind of like, because you could send somebody off to work and then... So we have all these funky sprayers. I got this one that I like, but then I got this one that I really like. We're going to buy this right now, actually, and get him going. And we'll take... I shouldn't have filled this up. No, wait. Oh, too late. Crap. Well, we'll run it once, and then once this thing's empty, we'll sell it. Boop. So we'll show you what we got. Now, it's pretty low res, unfortunately. It's not one of these, like, super nice mods. I like it, but it's got Russian flavor. It's pretty Russian looking, and it's a really low texture quality on the bucket and stuff. I don't know why. I guess, you know, it takes... I do know why. It's an artistry. Designing mods and doing your own, like designing these 3D models and then getting them to look right. It really is an art. There is a creative, artistic process behind it. It's not just something that just happens. And so, you know, I understand why, you know, obviously Giants gets it right when they do it. Like, you know, these Zetor tractors are great looking. They really are well done 3D models. But when these mod people come out and try to do it themselves, it's hit or miss. But the effort is there for sure. These guys put in a lot of time trying to make these things look good. But they all have different skills. Some guys are good at programming things that, you know, work differently. So like for instance, the operational sawmill on the Two Rivers map. It's really cool. It took somebody with a programming mind to figure out how to make that work. A second example would be this sprayer truck that I'm about to show you. Get that guy going. What's going on here? He's still going. So here it is. Oh, listen to the bass. It's definitely not good looking. Now, I don't mind the truck part of it. It's pretty good looking there. But the trailer looks terrible. It looks like a video game piece. The colors are weird. The rust color that they picked is like, I don't know. It's not a horrible mod. It really isn't horrible looking. The lights look terrible. They're just discs. Well, yeah, it turns the side light on. But it's cheap. It's used. The cockpit's horrible. You'll see the gas is far. Look at the wiper on the window there. Those are what are those? They're like missing. Spin tires, it is not. However, Spin Tires also does not have any cockpit views, so but huh? What, Ryan? Yeah, great one. I like the looks like a giant oven mitt covering the motor compartment so you don't burn yourself. It is utilitarian, and I will say, I've been inside of a Pinsgauer, and except for the cartoony gauges, this does kind of look like that inside. Very just utilitarian, not pretty, but just there. But I like the way this functions a lot better than that little seeder. I've told you before, I like the fertilizers where you can actually see the path that you're running. However, once again, the downside is I don't believe that you can hire a worker for this. I don't know why that is, but for whatever reason they've disabled that on these trucks. going to set me back some money. Now, the nice thing, too, is they've adjusted the amount of flow to what I feel is a more realistic level. In other words, you can do all of your fields once or twice before having to refill this, whereas, you know, the mod one or the standard ones, they go out so fast. So once he's done fertilizing, we'll put this guy out here, and I might hit that when you're done, Ryan. I'm in the mood for that. Some cereal. Go up the bump. So anyway, this is kind of a cool mod. If I don't put the link in the description, please remind me. Say, I want that fertilizer truck, and I will put a mod there for you, because I'll forget, I'm sure. But I will try to put the link there. This is available on Mod Hub. I know some of you guys like to go to other sites, but for me. So this will get about, you know, a goodly portion of the map done. Actually, we'll start doing that here. These guys can fertilize around. And then we can sell this one. It's not that it's worth much, but... Oh, sorry. He's like, look, I'm trying to work here. Nope, that was a total miss. It's really hard to judge. Nope, that time I got it though. So we're going to back up a little bit. Start back here. And I'm still not getting it. Wow, it's so narrow. Now I've totally fertilized the heck out of this one section though. That's good. Okay, good enough. Let's just go with that. I'm going to have no money. Yeah. I'm probably going to end up going into the red as I top and harvest. We'll see what happens. I've never gone into the red before in this game, except for once by mistake in a game that I wasn't really playing, and I ended up getting the achievement, but I was on my test farm, so I don't feel like it counted, but we might actually physically go into the red this time. I think the cedar is probably going to return about $3,000, if I remember right. But you can see here I'm already a quarter out. I'm going to move this guy out of the way so he can continue fertilizing because he'll be way faster. It's like the express train coming through. We'll get the freight out of the way. No, he quit. Crap cycles. All right. I should probably just run this on. He's probably getting confused because it's on the front and the back. To the front, to the back. Also, because this field is slanted, that tends to throw these guys off when they're working. Throws the workers off. They get lost. Alright. You may proceed. Permission granted. Clear to proceed. Zeta. Alright, our Ursus has finished. So we're gonna fold up. And head over to the next field. Government. All right. Alright. I like the way I'm trying to remember who it was who said this is like Groundhog Day. I'll remember in a minute, I'm sure. He's like, man, this is like Groundhog Day. Where's the World Takes videos? They're coming. Tomorrow, possibly. I wonder what they're going to offer. I know The Godfather said they might offer. Oh, did he stop again, or is he still going? No, he's still going good. He said they may offer the Revelos, the French M4, which is supposed to be just like the Firefly. And if that's the case, likely I will like it. This guy's done about to be out. He's about to be up out of here. Look, he overlaps on his own. Look at that. He overlapped. And I'll just call the rest a loss because there's no reason for me to... I'm not going to... It's going to end up being wasted either way, so... Let's go ahead and get this thing sold back because... Full speed Zeter. You'll notice I've only used 1 liter of gas in all the working that I've been doing. Hold on, folks. Perfect. No, that's... Yeah. What? Yeah. Chiaroscuro. We have a... Where Ryan's working on a photo where it's very dark light. It's got, like, you know, real nice highlights. But he's like in a dark room but by a window. And in art terms, well, chiaroscuro is basically the shading when you have like a rounded object and you shade it in. And there was I don't know if you guys ever saw Strong Bad, but one of my favorite. It's part of what's the name of that? Homestar Runner? Is that the website? Homestar Runner? What? Is it Homestar Runner? Was that the site name? Yeah. They had like a bunch of Flash animations. It was back when Flash was the hot thing. Now they're all on YouTube. What? And one of the characters, his name is Strong Bad, and he draws a dragon named Trogdor. It's really obscure. Look up Trogdor the Burninator or Strong Bad Trogdor, Trogder, and it's something that, like, my wife watches it and she's like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I do not understand why you think that's so funny." And I just, as a man who was a teenager, yeah, it's just everything that being a teenage man is all about. Or young man, young adult, teenage boy. But there's a scene where the wimpy guy, Strong Sad, draws the same. He tries to draw a better Trogdor. Not that he's even trying; he's just drawing. So he's drawn his impression of Trogdor, and Strong Bad just can't even handle the competition, so he nukes it. Like you say, he takes a lighter and he's like, "I've tried to employ chiaroscuro shading," and Strong Bad's like, "Yeah, try some of this." And he puts it to the lighter and burns it. You're laughing pretty hard. Oops, sorry about that. Chiaroscuro shading. Only an art nerd would know that. And of course, that's me. Yeah, us creative types. Nerds. Though that's one thing I've realized that's kind of funny. As a photographer, I am not... Maybe because of the sticker shock, like... You know, there's always those rich guys out there that they, you know, their parents are wealthy and they inherit millions of dollars, and then they become these world famous photographers, and they, you know, have all their needs met. And it's not because they're great photographers. They are great photographers, but, you know, it's, you know what I'm saying? Like they have, the whole world is handed to them on a silver platter, you know, and they just buy these, you know, all this equipment, and this is the Canon 740. It's got, you know, does, you know, whatever. I don't even know the specs, you know. It's like it does 4K and it's, you know, 256 million pixels per square inch in the sensor and all this like nerd talk. And I'm like that with computer stuff, which is funny because I'm a photographer, but I'm not like that with cameras. I could care less. I'm just like, does it work? Can I make it you know, take amazing pictures, and people see the pictures and they're like, that is amazing. Well, it's 50% the camera, but it's also because I know how to make the camera do what I want it to do. But I don't nerd out on the camera specs. I'm not like, oh, did you see the new whatever model it is? Now, when something new comes out and it's good and it's well done and it actually makes a huge difference in photography, I do get excited about that. When the Canon 5D Mark III came out and I got to use it and realized that I didn't ever have to use a flash again unless it was like nighttime and really dark somewhere, but that I could pretty much in most settings just not use flash. That was pretty exciting, and I did kind of nerd out over that. But in general, I could care less. Did you check out this new lens? I'm like, no. Well, have you tried, you know, using this kind of filter or that kind of? No. I use what works, and then I just go home. Yeah, see, I can't hire a worker. You have to do this manually. But because of its long-reaching arms, it's pretty fast. And look how I'm not spilling fertilizer out at 100 gallons per second. I've actually only used 1%. This whole field will maybe take like 7% or 10% of the fuel capacity, or the fertilizer capacity, which is much nicer. You can go a lot further with this thing. So, is it cheating? I don't think so. But it's a Russian. It is a Russian truck for fertilizer. Now I do see a lot of these around here, and I also see a lot of those weird, like John Deere fertilizers that are raised up. They have like the crop wheels, and then they have like that really wide stance, and they also have what's it called? Like the sprayer's like all in the back, but it's also, I don't know. They're designed to travel over crops and spray them, and I see a lot of those in Ojai. They're pretty cool. I don't see a lot of the drag behind or attached on sprayers, but I see them in newer wagons and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. What I want to tell you today. Oh, so I went flying today again. I told you guys about the big airplanes. It was a perfect day. 2 mile an hour winds, gusting up to maybe like 4 or 5. And I finally got comfortable with that huge 55-inch Trojan. With the weather being nice, I could come in on the right vector for my landing. So I wasn't coming in over the wires, coming in hot. And I was able to get the airplane down, and boy, I'll tell you what, man, when you have that nice runway, or the nice run into the runway, landing that thing couldn't be any easier, man. It just flattened out, and I slowly backed off the throttle, and it dropped down. I had 2 really beautiful 3-point landings, all 3 wheels at once, touched, no bouncing. And then I flew the Corsair after that, but my radio, and this is, you know, it's not a super, when I got the radio, they originally had been $200. The radio that I had, when I bought it, it was on sale for $129. It was a really good deal, I thought. But now after 2 years, I'm having an issue where it just starts reversing channels. And I've talked about this before on the channel, where you press one direction, the airplane goes the other. Well, on the Corsair today, the Trojan was fine, but then I turned the Corsair on and the gear went up, and I'm like, what the heck? And the gear switch was reversed. And I'm like, what on earth? So I switched the gear switch back, set it down on the ground, and came and realized that the rudder and the ailerons were reversed. So it's like it reversed, it left the elevator, but it reversed everything else. Just by itself. The radio just decided that it was going to reverse all my settings. So everything was backwards. And once I got it all sorted out, I was able to go fly the airplane. But after that, I was nervous, because then I'm like, oh my gosh. So I called the company that made it. I'm like, listen, guys, this is bad. And they're like, well, it's 2 years old. We can't really do anything for you because it's way out of warranty. Like, the warranty is only a year, and you're a year past the year warranty. So you're kind of. He's like, my suggestion. He's like, and of course, I'm not a sales guy, but I suggest that you can get it fixed and sell it, and buy a new one, or get it fixed and just deal with it, he said, but the new one that's out is a lot better. And so I started talking to him about it, and I guess they have a new one out that mine has 10 model memory. Now I have about 30 airplanes. Most of them I don't fly anymore, but some of them I do, like little helicopters and stuff. Some of them were beginner stuff that I got and I just haven't used, but I do have probably at least 15 airplanes that I fly on a regular basis and a couple little helicopters. And my radio only has slots for 10, so I have to use other crappy radios for the ones that don't fit in my model memory, because I can only store 10 airplanes on that radio. So he's like, well, the new one is $200, but it has a better antenna, better range, better gimbals, so it feels better in your hands, like when the sticks feel better. It doesn't have the issues that you're having, obviously. Most of them don't. He's like, but it has a 250 model memory, and I'm like, what? So I'm going to have to save up for it. Obviously, I can't afford it now. And with winter coming, I probably will only be flying maybe once a week or less. So whenever the weather is nice, I might sneak out and get a flight in or two. But when it's so cold, then you don't want to be out there long. So I'll keep the radio through the winter because it works. It's just you have to really make sure you check before you take off. Now, it never switches in flight. It just switches when you turn it on. It's reversed when it comes on. Look how fast that was. That really wasn't, 3 passes and I had 80% of that field done. So, and I only used 12% of the capacity. So, good stuff. Definitely worth $5,000. Big, ugly fertilizer truck. Terrible looking inside. I wish somebody would make a nicer one like this. Like a Tatra-based one. That'd be pretty cool. Make it affordable. Use Tatra. Like an older one. But the reason this is cheap is because it's old. Once again, you can go on the Russian websites. They do sell these trucks for about what I paid for it. Now you have to pay shipping to get them here to the States, but if you're in Europe, you can buy these trucks really cheap. They're questionable as far as their functionality. The guys always say on those websites, like, buy it on risk. This truck may or may not function. But I think for our farm, it's a good deal to have this old beater thing. And I love the way it sounds. It's like a steam engine. Not a steam engine. It sounds like an old F unit is what I meant to say. I don't know why I said steam engine. I'm tired, that's why. Sounds like an old, like was it F8? Is that what they were, the F8s? Like the famous Santa Fe war bonnet engine. It's like the most prolific, F7, that's what it was, F7. It's got that same sound, listen to it. You can imagine. That sound when it's going. It just has that sound. Anyway. Next. Don't get run over. Alright, so the Ursus probably can start at this point. I don't think he'll catch up with the cultivator, but he might. Not a big deal, though. We'll just stop him if he does. So he's ready to go. Off he goes. So we should be able to get this field seeded now that we have that little bit of extra money seeded and cultivated, and we'll probably still have like $4,000 or $5,000 to make it through the night. I guess I could probably do it manually, but I don't want to. So I'm going to let these guys keep working. We'll catch up in a minute. So we are still going on the field. Almost done, though. We really need to buy a second one of these Zeters and double up on all the equipment that we have. Especially once we get closer here to the server. I have a feeling we'll probably have, 2 or 3 more recording sessions in which to make money, and then the farm will go live. Once again, it is the end of November at this point. I can't believe how fast time is going by. And we're getting into December. I imagine I'll probably have 1 or 2 more sessions before Christmas recording this to make the episodes needed to get through the next month. And Once that happens, then we are going to, I'll be building the server in January, and whatever equipment we have on here is what we're going to go live with. So I would say the first couple sessions that we live stream are going to be limited players, because obviously I've only got, 4 tractors right now and a truck. So there's enough room for 5 people. Though I probably will just administrate, I would imagine, to start with, because there's going to be a lot going on, and I find a lot of times, especially when the server gets larger and we start having more and more equipment, that I spend most of my time putting equipment where it belongs, because people tend to leave things all over the farm. So I hop on and clean up the mess that everybody else made. Now it'll be a little bit harder on this one, because we are going to have some, restrictions as far as what we're buying and all that kind of stuff. I think, and the other thing too is, one of the differences with the upcoming server for Sosnovka, I am not going to be leaving the server up 24/7. What's going to happen is once or twice a week, we will schedule playtime. The information will be available on my website that I will be creating in January. We will have a TeamSpeak server set up, and so what's going to happen is people will check the website to see when Arthur's available. Arthur's going to post, hey, and I'll try to give you at least a 24-hour notice. Hey, tomorrow night, that's going to be like Tuesday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be putting the server up, and then at 8 o'clock the server will come online, and from 8 to like 8:30 we'll give you guys like 15 or 20 minutes to sign in and get logged on while we get the live stream set up, and then we'll go ahead and start recording and get the live stream going, and we'll do the work for that session. So the farm will not grow exponentially while we are not there, because the work that we do will not be finished until the following session. So we're just going to try to, probably do like a 2 or 3 hour session and get work done. And then, then the server at, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night, maybe midnight, will be closing back down again. So we'll put all the equipment away and we'll call it a night. And then that way it's not like something where, because, one of the biggest problems that we have online is that people, I've gone onto some of these servers that aren't locks just for fun to see what's going on, and then 90% of them, it's just like people have said, there's equipment in the ponds, there's equipment in all the lakes, there's equipment, jammed between the buildings, there's, people buy washers and block tractors in with washers, and it's just stupidity. It's complete, mayhem, and I am not going to have that on my server. We didn't have it last time too. Most people were very respectful, but I just want to prevent, what happens when you have that much time and like 30 people playing on a map, is that you just accelerate too quickly, and within a day or two, I mean seriously, within a week of play, we had become this huge conglomeration of like 5 million tractors and 15,000 different fertilizers. It got to be too big, and it was very hard to manage. And then it's like, this will make it easier, because it's not going to be like people trying to decide what to do, and then nobody having clear direction. We're going to get the server up. I'm going to be on. I'm going to tell you what we're doing for the night, and then we're going to close the server back down. It'd be more like real farming, because honestly, those guys work for 2 or 3 days, and then they're off for a couple months while they all do other stuff, and then they come back and work on the farm. So it's going to be the same idea. We're going to work a couple times a week, getting a harvest planted, getting a harvest harvested, and then pulling in the money, and then slowly we'll save and grow, and it'll give us something to work towards, instead of just like, hey, so-and-so was on today and we did $50 million in silage, and it ends up being an issue. So all right, we're going to keep going here. The seeder has stopped because the field angle is getting too wide. However, it's interesting, the cultivator keeps going. So seeder stops, cultivator goes. That's probably good, because I think he's probably empty anyway. Yes, he is. Look at this. He probably has been empty and I wasn't paying attention, so should probably pay more attention to that, because the seed costs 10% more when you're buying it on the fly. So I'll fill this guy up here. Should be able to get the rest of the field with this. Come on. Can't get any closer than that. What the heck? What does this not carry? Oh, I have the wrong implement selected. What? Oh. Too bad we don't have any canola. Interesting. I don't know why I can't. There we go. Okay. Probably shouldn't have rammed it, but... Oh, hold on. Alright, so... we are done cultivating. The seeder's making a final couple runs here, so I'm going to run this guy back to the farm, clean him up, and he can be stowed for the evening. We should also be fine with putting the major 80 away. And we will pretty much get ready for the harvest tomorrow, so hopefully make some of that money that we won't have, because I know we'll probably lose a couple $1,000s overnight. These tractors do cost $400 and some odd dollars a day to maintain, this old Zeter, so it's an expensive tractor to keep up with. But it's a great tractor. Good for moderately small farms. But pulls the cultivator just fine, and that's what we need to do. So you can also operate all the seeders, and can yeah, it's cool looking. I think we'll be running the topper with this guy tomorrow. No, we'll run it on the Ursus with a weight on the back. And then this guy will run the harvester. And we should be good. Alright, so we're going to clean this off and put her away for the night. Even though it's 7 o'clock in the morning. This is where that lumber part comes in, but in real life, you know, you have to wait it out. So with the next amount of money we get in, I would like to get a real beet harvester. I think it's the Maxtron. I think the Tektron is the potato harvester, and the... Oops, we gotta check this real quick. Yeah, see, they stop at the end of the field because this field is so curved. He'll run down, but he won't run back. So we'll send him down, and he'll come back, and he'll be done. We'll put him away. I think that as I was saying, I think the Tektron is the potato, and the Maxtron is the sugar beet harvester. Whoops. Where'd my cleaner go? Oh, there it is. That was on the other side for some reason. Nope, it's not all the way clean. I don't know why it looked clean. The wheels aren't clean all the way. Speaking of tractors, I got a new battery for my little tractor. My lawn tractor. It needed a new battery. They don't seem to last very long. I feel like I'm replacing batteries every 2 years or so. But it worked well. I was glad to be able to run it. I had a bunch of logs I had to move. I got them about halfway moved, but they're heavy, so tomorrow Ryan's going to have to help me move the rest. It was kind of fun having my little tractor out there and actually using it like a real tractor. Like this one, trailering stuff. But when people give us wood, you know, I dumped it on the driveway when I got this load, and I needed to move it down into the back where it can age. We have some racks back there that we can put it on, so I have it divided up in small, medium, and large logs. And the largest logs, which are just huge, I did not split up yet or I did not move off the driveway yet because I'm going to have someone's help to lift them. They're really heavy, and after doing a couple of them, my back is like so I did about half of them on the driveway today, but I left the other half for Ryan and I to get tomorrow. But we'll load up the little tractor. And I have a Scott's 1642, so it's supposedly, quote unquote, by Deere. It's made by John Deere, but it's a Scott's tractor. Put this trailer right here. Nice driving. There's that. And we'll put our little friend, the Major 80, away. There he go. And last but not least, we've finished up with the Ursus, so we can put this guy away. Looks nice. Look at that field. All done. There's our $70,000 field right there. That brings in more sweet beets than the other two. Easily. It's nice having that field, though. And now that I've played this map a little bit more, I realize I could have just bought... Well, we'll buy them next. When I do more field purchases. The other side of the map there, on the other side of that weird... I think it's a water tower out in the middle of our roadway there. There's a pair of fields that you can buy, and then you can combine them. I used it in my how to combine fields video, like the playing with field size. I showed that those specific fields to join together, they make a nice big field that's close to the farm. And then I also across the street from there we go. Across the street from there is more very narrow fields, but there's like 4 or 5 of them in succession that you can connect together to make one ginormous field. So we're probably going to be doing that too at some point. I don't think we have a plow on this map, so I'll have to buy a plow to do that. I think I sold it. Or it didn't come. You know what? This one didn't come with it, but the Kverneland plow is pretty inexpensive, and it does the same job as the more expensive first level plow. So we'll just do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this guy away. And like I said, we should probably buy... Well, there's all kinds of things we need to buy, but for right now, I'm going to work with what I have. I'm thinking of getting a second one of these, but... And a second cultivator, so we can speed up the process of prepping the fields. But it doesn't really matter because, you know, honestly... We started at 5 o'clock in the morning and it's 7:15 and we're done for the day. So really, the field prep is not that taking us that long as it is. I just wanted to grab this and move it over. So I will back this in here. So everything is nice and clean, out of the weather, packed up for the night. The one last thing we're going to do is we're going to pop this onto the back of the tractor here. Tomorrow this is going to be our topper tractor. So we can even just grab the topper now and park it away with this. So we'll try this out. Everybody, like I said, everybody's been raving about how much easier it is to do it with this. So we'll send this guy to town. Well, we should have about $4,000 to work with, so I don't think we'll go into the red. But we might, and it's not the end of the world if we do. We just have to sell off our crops immediately when we get the opportunity. So, all right, so we're parked up for the night. That's ready to go. This is ready to go. The Zeter is ready to go for our running the harvester, and we should be set to bring in another, hopefully 80 to 100, maybe even more. I think it might bring in about $120,000 for all that stuff. So, all right, guys, have a great night. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you for being part of my channel. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys on the farm.